Hello everyone, I'm Maria Galassi and welcome to a new episode of Breaking News in Advertising. We have amazing guests today. We're going to talk about Facebook algorithm, big data and democracy in the future of advertising. We're going now to Maria Red and Maria Black to talk about the encounter with Facebook algorithm and big data. An interesting aspect to understand is the encounter users have with the algorithm, if this changed the way they interact with the platform, and if there are any strategies they have consciously developed in response to it. People describe situations in which the algorithm classifies them making wrong assumption. Someone has described the wow moment when a product you're using comes up on the screen. In others, instead, because data are kept in database, the algorithm is stuck on past interaction and keeps to reiterate old things to users who now have different interests. But the one in which algorithm is most power to affect, and ironically being affected, is when it comes to self-promotion, at a large scale or simply gain friends' appreciation. In this situation, it is necessary to play the Facebook game, which has rules that make the algorithm work for your own purpose. The encounters described are part of what is named algorithmic imaginary, the ensemble of experiences, sensations, and ways of thinking about what algorithms are, how they should be, and how they work. Because as well as how the algorithm shape users' action, their action constantly change the algorithm, which is exposed to an increasingly set of data which automatically give people the chance to speak through the algorithm itself. In the famous series Black Mirror, in which the future of technology is exasperated in an hopefully unrealistic dystopia, an entire episode has been dedicated to the Facebook algorithm, or more in general to our social media life. In this episode, the world is dominated by fake social interaction, where everything is based on your score. Every single person is able to judge you and giving you points on the basis of your social media and your real life skills. But behind the fake integrity and kindness of people, there is a huge experience of performance anxiety. Everyone wears these contact lenses from which they can check other people's scores and decide if interact with them can be helpful or not to raise their own personal score. As I said, Black Mirror is supposed to show us an exaggerated dystopia, but is this idea so far from what is Facebook algorithm doing to users? Is this really much different from how to act to reach more people, how Facebook itself says? As reported by The Guardian, in the past year, Facebook changed the policies about their trending section, which was surprisingly controlled by human beings. They stated, "Our goal is to enable trending for as many people as possible, which would be hard to do if we relied solely on summarizing topic by end." Which is not really surprising, but it worked. In the first months, the algorithm considered false stories, controversial news, and porn or movies as trends, demonstrating it's not able to understand when a source is reliable, what is considered acceptable and not offensive. Here again we are questioning. Despite the amazing progresses of artificial intelligence and robot learning skills, can we trust algorithm? Or, as for the case of evolution, we are still looking for the conjunction between computer skills and the human ability of self-reflection? So, big data. Big data in human language? An incredibly huge amount of data. To do what? Well, basically everything. The incredible power of big data is their ability to overcome and cover any phenomenon on Earth. From diseases to flight ticket, from genomic to astronomy, every aspect of our entire life could be expressed in data. And is actually what is happening. But what is really incredible about big data is the ability they have to give us information in almost real time and with all the probabilities involved. Anyway, because of their incredible power, there are some concerns regarding humanity, decision-making, and most of all, privacy. Would it be fair to let data decide? For example, scaring us dead, if someone is going to commit a crime and arrested him in advance to avoid it? The power of big data is huge. It would be the chance to address big problems as climate change, knowing about diseases in real time and have a chance to fight and also prevent them. But all these aspects must be controlled in order to keep humanity and human consciousness behind decision and understanding of what big data want to say. Black Mirror is the TV series famous for showing a future dystopia by describing the modern society in relation with new technologies. One of the Black Mirror episodes can help us to understand the power of big data. In this episode, Martha loses his boyfriend in a car accident, and to overcome mourning, a friend introduced to her a program which can recreate an artificial robotic copy of the person who died, which is not simply the same as the person who died, but is also able to speak and interact as they used to do. It is fictional, nothing to object, but in the film, all of this is possible simply by accessing the social life the person had before dying. All the information collected through his click, his research, his interest, everything has been collected, stored in form of data, and is accessible to gain information. As I said, the film is fictional, but do you think this future is so far? Another example to understand the power of big data can be demonstrate to you how it works in everyday life. We can consider the self-driving system. You will probably know Tesla as one of the most forefront companies in electric car production and renewable energies development. One of the incredible features of Tesla cars is the self-driving system. Despite its competitors who are testing an increasingly amount of self-driving vehicles, Tesla has decided to collect data directly from the video recorded by the cars that have been sold. Tesla demonstrates that because of the huge amount of data collected, they've been able to redesign a self-driving which is even able to predict a crash before it will actually happen, because the computer can consider much more possibility than human mind. It sounds incredible and not real, but it is. And despite the enormous development and improvement this will bring to humankind, are we really able to handle all of this? Thank you very much for having me. I'll pass you the line back. It was a pleasure. Thanks to our guest. We have some technical problems, but it's now the turn of Maria White to talk about the future of democracy in advertising. With the advent of big data and the development of artificial intelligence we have already talked about previously, it is necessary to consider the future implication for democracy involving both these aspects. Big data is nothing new, but with the development of search engine and social media, advertisers got the power to reach the audience at lower prices than ever before. This will bring us to face three possible dynamics. The first one will see publishers working with advertisers to deliver personalized content, which means different prices, different offers, and different adverts for everyone. The second one see publishers vary their content on the basis of audience interest, and in the third one we will see native advertising, which is the creation of content with style and form of a publication, which in reality is an advert. These futures are acting on change habits and values without audience knowing it or understanding it. But democracy is the creation of a system of more legible and visible social interaction. That is why, if we want to keep a not fictional value, it must comprehend sharing experience, which are the same for all individuals. Otherwise, we risk to become unable to recognize each other as members of the same community. When it comes to native advertising, it's been demonstrated that people have problems to identify if something is a publication or an advert. The main example of native advertising nowadays is the Lego Movie, which is, without exaggerating, a 100-minute advert, but still, when it came out in 2014, it has been appreciated by both critics and public. The incredibly clever strategy was that the movie has been created to attract older and younger people. That's why the characters, which easily attract young audience, have been created as figure of an action movie in the latest Marvel movie style, with cheeky but not too scandalous jokes to camouflage what is clearly an enormous piece of advert. And not just because of the name or because the entire film is in Lego format, but because the entire message of the film is summarized in the end by showing a father and a son playing together in a huge Lego city, because Lego lets you do incredible things and bring you closer to the people you love. Doesn't that sound as an advert? Something that really minds the future of democracy is the idea of personalized advert, which is not just restricted to social media and internet banners. Channel 4 and ITV have announced that they will personalize adverts from users to users. This means that two different persons watching the same TV program will be addressed with two different adverts according to the demographic of the residents in the house. This option for tailored advertising is for now restricted to smart TV and will work only when the internet connection is available. The idea comprehends adverts which are actually directly addressing customers by saying their name. The head of digital innovation at Channel 4 described it as a powerful engagement tool. It will surely be powerful and slightly creepy at the same time, but it is necessary to consider the possible implication this tailoring will have on people. In the US, the executive director of the Center for Digital Democracy accused the Federal Communication Commission to have failed important privacy safeguard for consumers by giving TV channels this chance. Because, as we said, advertising can develop, but should still consider basic human right for privacy. Thank you very much. We will see you on the next episode. We've lost the line, but thank you very much to everyone who participated. We will see you on the next episode. Good night.